And welcome to Part 8 of my report on the McCarrick Report by Patrick Parson. We continue Part 2 of the executive summary of the McCarrick Report, which is knowledge and decision-making related to McCarrick during the papacy of John Paul II. One reason why Pope John Paul II seemed to place so much faith in McCarrick is because the Holy See had never received a complaint directly from a victim. Therefore, hierarchy members who supported McCarrick could dismiss any allegations as gossip or rumors. Priest 1 was then the only known accuser of sexual behavior against McCarrick, and he was considered unreliable because he himself had previously abused 2 teenage boys. Also, the Holy See had not received any signed statements from him about McCarrick. It appears to me the church authorities preferred to believe McCarrick's word over anyone else's, particularly as he had shown himself during the previous 20 years to be a hard-working and effective bishop. I guess I need to ask here, what is the definition of an effective bishop? Apparently, it is more for organizational skill and the ability to keep a diocese financially solvent than it is about seeing to the spiritual needs of one's flock. I believe a good bishop will nurture his flock. A bad bishop fleeces his flock one way or another. Now, McCarrick was also known for his ability to handle delicate and difficult assignments, even in some of the most sensitive parts of the world, including the former Eastern Bloc and especially Yugoslavia. Pope John Paul II had known McCarrick since first meeting him in the mid-70s. McCarrick had frequent interactions with the Pope, and this likely had an impact on the Pope's decision-making. Speaking for myself, I know how difficult it is to believe bad things about someone with whom you have shared positive interactions. So that's the McCarrick decision-making during the pontificate of John Paul II. Now we look at what the report executive summary says about the third pontificate, knowledge and decision-making related to McCarrick during the papacy of Benedict XVI, and this starts on page 10 of the report. Soon after becoming Pope in April of 2005, Benedict XVI extended McCarrick's tenure in Washington, which was viewed as having been a successful 2 years. However, later that same year, new details in Priest 1's allegations caused a reversal, and the Holy See requested McCarrick to spontaneously withdraw as Archbishop after Easter 2006. The executive summary does not indicate what the new details regarding Priest 1 were. The executive summary also says that Holy See officials wrestled with how to address issues related to McCarrick, particularly since the allegations were unproven. In 2006 and in 2009, Archbishop Vigano wrote 2 memoranda in order to bring McCarrick-related questions to the attention of superiors. Since only a pope can judge a cardinal under canon law, Vigano suggested a canonical process to determine the truth and to impose an exemplary measure if warranted. That suggestion was not followed, and instead an appeal was made to McCarrick's conscience to maintain a lower profile and minimize travel for the good of the Church. This request was made to McCarrick orally in 2006 and in writing in 2008. The executive summary makes clear that this method, although approved by Pope Benedict, did not carry his explicit imprimatur, was not based on factual findings that McCarrick had actually committed misconduct, and contained no prohibition on public ministry. So we see that the Vatican was aware of allegations against McCarrick, but did not seem to feel he was guilty of anything more than indiscretion. How much of this was a naive outlook on the Vatican's part, or a willingness to accept grave immoral actions on the part of its established leaders? The executive summary avoids all that. What will it tell us when we continue in our next segment? Until then, let us acknowledge our sins and those of our leaders through the Fatima prayer. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of thy mercy.